Will firing a gun inside your house in self-defense make you deaf? We'll talk about that in just a minute. But first, gun giveaway. It's happening right now. It is absolutely free, but it ends really soon. So click the link in the description to learn which brand new gun you could win. All right, we got a viewer question asking about whether or not firing a gun inside your house in self-defense is going to damage your hearing and how much it will damage your hearing. The short answer is yes, it's going to damage your hearing. Hearing damage, hearing loss is cumulative and permanent. Understand that. So above a certain level, when we're getting upwards like 130, 140 decibels, that's causing some damage to your ears. And that damage is permanent and cumulative, so it just builds up over time. Now, if you fire a gun in a confined space, in a car or in a house or something like that, yep, it's going to be louder. It's going to do some damage to your hearing. If you hear your ears ringing, that tone, that ringing tone, that's just your ears telling you you're never going to hear that tone again, because that's going to go away and then you're not going to be able to hear that tone anymore. That's kind of what happens with hearing damage from really loud noises. But the discussion point, more importantly for me, is this something you want to stop and think about when someone is trying to kill you? Okay, think about this for a minute. You've got your gun out in your house. That means you reasonably believe you are in imminent danger of death or great bodily harm. I don't want you to say, time out, bad guy. I don't know if this is going to be good for my hearing. I want you to stop that threat, and then you deal with all the other parts of that afterwards, because the first part of this is that you need to survive, and not just survive, prevail. You need to win the fight. You need to be alive. You need to protect your family. You need to stop the bad guy. That's the first thing you need to be thinking about. The other stuff that happens after that, and that can be all of this, whether it's hearing loss, whether you weren't wearing eye protection and you got a piece of drywall dust in your eyes or something like that. All of the things that happen after that are things you have to deal with, that you get to deal with because you are still alive, because you won the fight, because you protected yourself, your family, your loved ones, all of that sort of stuff. So yes, it is something to think about. No, I don't think that you should keep a set of earmuffs with your gun so that in the middle of the night when you hear something happen, you put on the earmuffs, get the electronic ones, you can turn them on, then you can hear better, and then you go out and make sure that you're defending your family and stuff like that. No, the first point of this is to win that fight, to defend yourself effectively. Yes, you're going to have some hearing damage, whatever level that is. And again, the more shots you fire, the more hearing damage you're going to get. Every time you fire a gun, indoors or outdoors, without hearing protection, you permanently damage your ears to some extent. That's just the nature of gunfire. That's going to happen. So if you're shooting inside a house, yes, that noise is contained. It's coming back at you. It's going to feel louder than it really is. It's not going to be fun. But the other side of this is that in a fight for your life, that fight for your life is not going to be fun. But that's the thing you have to consider first. First win the fight, then deal with the other stuff afterwards, because you can deal with a whole lot of stuff, and you can even call that stuff problems. You can deal with a whole lot of problems afterwards as long as you are still alive. Make sure you win the fight first. Make sure that you're focused, getting proper training, you have the proper gear, you have the proper plan. And then yes, if you fire a gun in your house, it's going to damage your hearing. How much it's going to damage your hearing, we don't know until we get it tested afterwards. But being alive and going for a hearing test and maybe getting a hearing aid is much better than being dead. So win the fight first and then worry about all the other stuff in the aftermath of that incident. There is an alternative to the hearing loss and the earmuffs, wearing your earmuffs during a fight, and that is using a suppressor. Your home defense gun could be equipped with a suppressor if you want to go through the Form 4 and all the paperwork and all the federal hoops that you have to jump through to get a suppressor. But then understand too that adding an extra 6 or 8 inches of suppressor to your home defense gun makes it a little bit more difficult to handle, and it doesn't work quite as well in tight quarters. But yes, you will protect your hearing if you use a suppressor or something like that. But again, I'm coming back to the point that the first and most important thing is that you win this fight. Or, if you really want to go all the way back, that you prepare and protect your home well enough to make sure you don't have to have a fight. That you use outside lights, that you have alarm systems, that you have an entire home protection plan to make sure that you can avoid this fight if at all possible. Now, again, if the fight comes to you, 1, win the fight. 2, deal with stuff afterward. If you want to get a suppressor for your handgun, go ahead and do that, but the truth of the matter is you can't get something for nothing. So the benefits provided you by a suppressor can be outweighed or can be neutralized by some of the drawbacks of having a suppressor on your gun. You're pulled over by the police and you're carrying concealed. Do you need to do anything special in this scenario? Like tell the officer you have a gun. Click this video right next to me and I'll break down that scenario step by step on what you should do.